Hi, I'm Randy Altman with postPerspective. We're here at NAB 2014, and we have David Newman from GoPro, and he's going to talk about some pretty cool new stuff that they have going on. So what, you want to jump into Hero 3 Plus?
Yeah, Hero 3 Plus, for many of you, it was out in October last year. It was a hardware upgrade to the Hero 3 line. Although some similarities in terms of frame rate and resolutions, it did a lot of enhancements to the cameras. The lens has got way less chromatic aberration. We really focused on how to make this, no pun intended, we made it sharper. We wanted to make sure we could deliver the most stunning, both 4K and 2.7K and HD images from this camera solution. And we evolved the color profile so that we wanted to make it slightly, even in the default GoPro modes, it's less punchy, it's less saturated, and so even for consumers, before it was sort of like an eye candy YouTube experience out of the camera. That was sort of the traditional GoPro look, and then you would go to ProTune to get a flat log curve, and that's what, of course, we created for our cinematographers who are using GoPros ubiquitously everywhere, with a number one SKU in HD, high definition professional cameras. I mean, we sell more than any other vendor.
So. Everywhere, yeah.
And but we've just done a new firmware update. So if you've already got a Hero 3 Plus, definitely get the update, which extends a number of capabilities in the camera, but particularly ProTune 2.0. And what this is...
Can you describe ProTune, what it is for someone that might not know?
Previously ProTune was an increase in bit rate so that you don't get compression artifacts. It went from an average of about 30 megabits per second for your acquisition to 45 megabits per second. So it's a very high long GOP H.264. It's still 420, 8 bits. It's a consumer acquisition format, but at that bit rate, you're not likely to see compression artifacts. And we also, in the old ProTune, we basically tuned it for you. It was sort of like our suggested professional tune. So if you like past the string there, ProTune. And what we did is we said we're going to give you a log curve, high bit rate, no sharpening on the video. You even can turn off the color processing such you can shoot the true color raw, the sensor raw. Unusual things to do in a consumer camera. And I mean, it's definitely embraced by the professional market. But our professional market is not, that was a cinematographer. This is a wide gamut, wide dynamic range way of shooting the camera. But we got tens of thousands of sports broadcasters who don't really want to go through the extensive wide gamut color correction that might involve. So in ProTune 2.0, we gave you a lot more control. So now it is the mode where pros tune the camera. So a little bit different. ProTune 2.0 gives you things like you can choose whether it's a log curve or saturated color ready to broadcast. You can choose the level of sharpening that you have. You can choose what the ISO limit is, because in a consumer camera, when we shoot in very dark environments at night, it's typical that they gain up. They gain up a lot to try but if you're shooting professionally, that becomes more noise you have to deal with, and that's not the look you want. If you wanted true saturated blacks, you can actually set that with setting the ISO limit on the camera, so you can override a lot of the settings. So you've still got all the white balance controls, and we also now have full EV compensation. So at this show, we announced and launched a new camera SKU that's not focused on professional sports and activities like that. It's for music, and when you're shooting concerts, you need to control the EV compensation on the camera because spotlights on people's faces will blow out in a normal. So we allow you to compensate for that. You can actually, so it's got good range of EV compensation. So you can now shoot environments you could never shoot the GoPro in before.
That's pretty cool. And you also have a dual hero for 3D?
Yeah, Dual Hero was announced last week and being shown here. And this, we're returning to 3D, which people might think, well, there's no other 3D things going on the show. But 3D is a gateway technology for us. It's not just about two cameras recording and sync to produce a 3D image. In our previous Hero 1 and Hero 2, which is the last time that we had a 3D solution, the cameras were sort of, I wasn't on the team, so it was it's sort of a loose synchronization. It was making sure the cameras started together, but basically one camera was master telling the other camera what to do, but it didn't, there was limited controls. This new one is a full 4K capable Genlock style. It's down to scanline or pixel level. I can't tell you exactly how accurate it is, but incredibly accurate synchronization between the cameras. And we did this because not only does that enable very, very high quality 3D, and we can shoot So 2.7K, 24, 25, or 30p. So it's beyond what you can even make a DCP in, because DCP 3D is only 2K. So you can actually shoot resolution. So we have in our booth a demonstration right now, which is showing 2.7K 3D on a 4K display, and it's just stunning. You don't get 3D that good even in the theater. But now with such resolution, it's really makes it possible to create much more detailed depth maps. You can use that. We're using the dual hero. It's not called the 3D hero system like the old one, because you can actually set cameras up, one to shoot the video at the frame rate and resolution that you want, and the other one's set up to do time lapse at the frame rate and resolution you want. So if you're needing production stills and want to get it from exactly the same or within 30 millimeters of the same angle of your other cameras, they are slaved together. They will behave. You start one, the other one will start. Incredible reliability on that. And as I pointed out, it's a sort of a gateway technology for us, because the camera synchronization isn't limited. This is not something we've rolled out to the consumer. Hopefully one day we will. I can't promise it. But it allows us to do with our array technology. You've probably seen when we've done 30 GoPros and we've had like an extreme event, when we do this often at our media team goes to, whether it's X Games and so on, and they'll have like 30 or 40 cameras, and when someone at up top of the half pipe, they'll be able to then rotate, spin around them, kind of Matrix bullet time type of thing. But we can do it with a handheld rig, so you can just hold up the array of cameras. And we did some stuff, a couple of years back with Rip Curl, where we actually did it in the surf. We can have cameras coming out of the water and surfers, and you've just never seen this kind of. That was using the older technology. You will be blown away when you see what we can do with array technology, which is 4K and perfect sync, and we can run way, way more cameras than we could before.
Is that available now? The dual?
Dual Hero is available. You can pre-order at the show. I think it ships in 2 weeks or something like that. It ships this month.
Okay,
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
David, thanks for coming and
You're welcome.
chatting. Really good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Very cool.